In a world that never stops talking, where everyone is sharing their thoughts, broadcasting their moves, and revealing their every strategy, there's one powerful tool that most people have forgotten: strategic silence. It's not about being mute, it's about knowing when to say nothing at all. While others are busy talking about their plans, you could be quietly moving ahead, winning without saying a word. The truth is, in today's age of oversharing, the people who master silence have a huge advantage. They don't just protect their position, they use it as a weapon. Niccolò Machiavelli, the 16th century philosopher and political strategist, understood this principle better than most. In The Prince, Machiavelli's advice is often associated with ruthless manipulation, but the most powerful insights from his work are about what should remain unsaid. He knew that silence wasn't just a tactic for avoiding danger, it was a way to maintain control, build authority, and outsmart the competition. In fact, Machiavelli believed that silence could be far more powerful than speech. If you're tired of playing by the rules of constant communication, if you want to stop revealing your cards to everyone around you, then this video is for you. We're going to dive deep into Machiavelli's most potent strategy: how using silence strategically can make you more powerful, respected, and unstoppable. So, if you want to understand why saying less could lead to getting more, then keep watching. Subscribe now to get the tools you need to take control of your life and start winning without ever saying a word. In today's world, communication is everywhere. We've been conditioned to share, to broadcast our thoughts, and to keep everyone in the loop. It's almost as if we believe that by saying more, we gain more. But what if the opposite were true? What if the most powerful people in history understood a secret that most of us overlook: saying less often achieves more? Machiavelli was a master of this strategy. In his time, words could mean the difference between life and death, but his insights go beyond politics. His philosophy teaches us that strategic silence, knowing when to speak and when to hold your tongue, could be the ultimate power play. He knew that speech, while it may seem like a tool for power, often undermines it. Speech reveals too much, it creates commitments, exposes weaknesses, and diminishes your mystique. Silence, on the other hand, preserves your strength and gives you the edge in any situation. When you remain silent, you become unpredictable. You retain control over your thoughts and strategies, and most importantly, you maintain mystery. Silence gives you space to observe and learn from others without them learning too much about you. It's a silent power that's both subtle and effective. The best leaders, the most successful negotiators, and the most respected figures don't need to talk incessantly, they let their actions and silence speak for them. And now, you can learn how to do the same. If you want to master the art of silence and use it to your advantage in every area of life, hit that subscribe button. Let's break down Machiavelli's genius strategy of silence and how it can help you rise above the noise and win where others are still talking. Machiavelli's principles go far beyond political maneuvering, they tap into something deeper: human nature. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, those who understand the true power of silence are the ones who rise above the rest. The real question is, how can silence work to your advantage in a world obsessed with constant communication? Machiavelli's brilliance lay in his understanding that words have consequences. Every time you speak, you reveal a part of yourself. You make promises, commitments, and open the door for others to judge or manipulate you. But what happens when you hold back? When you say nothing at all? Silence creates space. It leaves room for others to reveal themselves, their intentions, their weaknesses. It allows you to gather intelligence without giving away your own plans. This is the essence of Machiavellian strategy, knowing when to shut up and listen. The most powerful players in any game are often the ones who reveal the least. Whether in business, relationships, or leadership, the person who speaks less is often the one who commands the most respect. Think about the leaders and successful negotiators you admire, they don't need to explain every move or justify their decisions. Instead, they speak only when it serves them, and they maintain a certain level of mystery that keeps others on edge. This approach isn't about being deceptive or dishonest. It's about being strategic. Machiavelli understood that by saying less, you preserve your flexibility. You keep your options open, and you maintain control. By not committing to every idea, you allow yourself the freedom to adapt without apology or explanation. If you want to take control of your interactions, master silence, and gain the upper hand, then it's time to stop talking and start listening. Subscribe and learn how to turn silence into your most powerful tool for success. Machiavelli's approach to silence isn't simply about withholding words, it's a calculated and deliberate strategy that unfolds in different forms depending on your goal. He recognized that silence isn't just an absence of speech, but a communicative tactic that can dramatically shift power dynamics. Understanding the three types of strategic silence can unlock a new layer of influence and control in any situation. The first type of silence is information-gathering silence. Machiavelli observed that the wise man holds his tongue, allowing others to expose their thoughts, intentions, and weaknesses. The fool speaks immediately, revealing his position without learning anything about others. By remaining silent, you position yourself to gather valuable intelligence. In negotiations, this is where the principle, "whoever speaks first loses," comes into play. In any situation, being the one who listens rather than speaks gives you an advantage. The more you learn from others, the better you can strategize and respond. The one who reveals their position too early is vulnerable to manipulation and counteraction, while the silent observer collects the pieces to make a calculated move. The second type is authority-building silence. Machiavelli knew that perception often shapes power as much as actual ability. When you speak too much, you dilute your authority, but when you speak selectively, your words hold more weight. This form of silence creates an aura of confidence and control. A leader who addresses only key issues, leaving the trivial matters untouched, projects decisiveness and strength. People gravitate toward leaders who appear unshakable, and nothing diminishes that aura more than oversharing or over-explaining. Leaders who respond to every criticism or question can be perceived as insecure, but those who remain silent unless absolutely necessary command respect and convey that their time and energy are limited to only the most important matters. The third type of silence is ambiguity-preserving silence. This is where Machiavelli's mastery of flexibility shines. Ambiguity-preserving silence allows others to project their own assumptions, fears, or hopes onto your position. By not clarifying your stance or intentions, you create an open space where others can fill the void with their own interpretations. This allows you to maintain multiple options and keep your choices open. Politicians often use this type of silence, making vague statements that can be interpreted in different ways by different audiences. In business or negotiations, not committing to a firm position too early can preserve valuable opportunities for future discussion. The ambiguity you create becomes an asset, allowing you to navigate complex situations without being cornered into a single path. These types of silence aren't about avoiding responsibility or evading decisions. They're about strategic restraint, choosing when and how to engage in order to maintain control. Each form of silence serves a distinct purpose, and the more you master these strategies, the more you'll be able to influence outcomes without ever saying too much. Silence is not just a passive act of withholding words, it is a weapon in the psychological warfare that unfolds in every interaction. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. Silence allows you to retain an element of power that speech can easily dilute. The psychological impact of silence is profound, often far more influential than words or actions could ever be. When you choose silence, you create a space where others are forced to act, speak, or fill the void. It creates uncertainty in those around you, making them more likely to second-guess their actions and words. In negotiations or confrontations, silence can unsettle your opponents, making them reveal more than they intend or act out of discomfort. It's a subtle, yet powerful, way of keeping the upper hand. Silence, in this sense, puts the pressure back on others to initiate and reveal their strategies, vulnerabilities, and thoughts. People will often talk more when they are uncomfortable, and in those moments, they unwittingly expose their position and weaknesses. Psychologically, silence also promotes a sense of dominance. The person who speaks the least often holds the most control over the conversation. This is particularly effective when dealing with individuals who are eager to impress or get their point across. By not reacting immediately, you force them to keep talking and reveal the limits of their strategy. You maintain a mystique that makes you unpredictable, while they become more predictable by the act of speaking too much. In this way, silence becomes a tool to maintain your own mystery and authority. Moreover, silence also allows you to cultivate self-discipline and control over your emotions. By holding back, you prevent impulsive reactions and avoid revealing your true feelings or intentions. When you respond too quickly or too emotionally, you give away your position. Silence gives you time to reflect, strategize, and choose your response carefully, allowing you to maintain emotional and mental control in any situation. It's this emotional regulation that keeps you from being manipulated or led by external forces. The person who controls their speech controls their influence. The beauty of silence lies in its ability to speak volumes without uttering a single word. It challenges the conventional thinking that communication requires constant verbal exchange. In reality, the more you hold back, the more powerful your presence becomes. Silence is the ultimate tool for those who wish to influence without being overt or manipulative. It allows you to guide situations subtly, from the shadows, while others scramble for attention and validation. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a strategic tool for maintaining power. Machiavelli knew that silence creates psychological pressure. When you stay silent, you force others to speak, revealing their thoughts, intentions, and weaknesses. It unsettles them, making them second-guess themselves and exposing their position. In negotiations or confrontations, silence dominates by making others feel uncomfortable. The person who speaks the least holds control, as others are compelled to fill the silence. Silence also adds mystique, making you unpredictable while others become predictable by over-talking. Furthermore, silence cultivates self-discipline. It allows you to pause, think, and respond with intention rather than reacting impulsively. This control over your emotions prevents manipulation and ensures you maintain a calm, authoritative presence. In short, silence is a psychological weapon. It lets you influence situations from the shadows while others scramble for attention. The less you speak, the more power you hold. In today's world, where constant communication is the norm, silence offers a unique advantage. Machiavelli's brilliance lies in understanding that transparency and oversharing can often undermine power. In fact, the more you reveal, the more vulnerable you become. When you speak, you expose your intentions and give others the chance to exploit them. Silence, however, shields you from this vulnerability. By speaking less, you retain flexibility and mystery, which are vital in maintaining control over any situation. Ambiguity allows you to maneuver with ease, keeping your options open while others commit themselves. Leaders who reveal too much are seen as weak, while those who remain reserved project strength and foresight. Silence also fosters anticipation. When you speak sparingly, every word holds more weight, making your statements impactful. It's a subtle yet effective way to command attention and respect. In negotiations, this can be especially powerful. People will often give away more than they intend when they're met with a calm, unreactive demeanor. In essence, silence doesn't just protect you, it elevates you. It keeps your strategies intact and positions you as a force to be reckoned with. Mastering the discipline of silence is essential for those who wish to wield it as a powerful tool. Machiavelli didn't just value silence as a reactive strategy, but as a deliberate practice. It requires control over one's emotions, thoughts, and impulses. The more you master the art of saying nothing, the more you can observe, process, and plan effectively. The first step is embracing restraint. Avoid speaking out of habit or to fill the silence. Resist the urge to explain yourself, justify your decisions, or seek validation through words. This restraint builds authority and allows you to maintain control over your presence. By holding back, you also ensure that when you do speak, your words are calculated and impactful, never wasted. The second step is observing and analyzing. Silence gives you the time to assess situations, people, and dynamics without the influence of your own words. You gather more information by listening than by speaking. By staying silent, you can understand the intentions of others and shape your strategy accordingly. Lastly, cultivate comfort with silence. It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly engaging with others or filling uncomfortable silences. But true power lies in being able to sit in stillness without feeling the need to fill every gap with conversation. When you become comfortable with silence, you unlock the ability to control situations, navigate relationships, and make decisions without being rushed. Mastering silence is not about avoiding communication, it's about choosing when to communicate and using it as a tool for greater control and influence. The power of silence isn't just about not speaking, it's about how and when you use it. As Machiavelli understood, silence isn't passive, it's an active choice that shapes outcomes. One of the key benefits of silence is its ability to give you time and space to think, reflect, and act without the pressure of immediate response. By staying silent, you control the pace of interaction. You dictate when it's your turn to speak, and when you choose to remain quiet, you put others in the position of having to fill the void. This creates a dynamic imbalance, where others are constantly seeking your approval or validation through their words, while you maintain control by saying little. Silence also acts as a form of emotional protection. By not revealing your inner thoughts, intentions, or feelings, you avoid exposing yourself to manipulation or vulnerability. You become less predictable, less easy to read, and more difficult to influence. It's the ultimate form of emotional armor, strong, yet subtle. Ultimately, the art of silence empowers you to stay in control, maintain your mystery, and exert influence over others without needing to say much at all. Silence gives you the space to shape outcomes rather than letting others dictate the terms. When used wisely, it is the most potent tool in achieving lasting success. In a world where everyone feels the need to speak, those who understand the power of silence are the ones who rise above the noise. Machiavelli's wisdom still holds true today. Silence isn't about avoiding interaction, it's about choosing your moments and using them strategically. The more you withhold, the more you control. The more you listen, the more you learn. And the less you speak, the more your words will matter when you do choose to speak. Mastering silence is not a passive act, it's an active form of power, one that allows you to navigate the world with clarity, influence, and authority. By embracing silence, you reclaim control of your interactions, your emotions, and your destiny. If you're ready to step into your own power and start winning without saying a word, then take this lesson to heart. Stay silent when necessary, speak when powerful, and watch as the world shifts around you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more insights into mastering strategy, influence, and the art of power. Your journey toward quiet dominance starts now.